my name's Olivia, and in today's video we are going to discuss something which is a really regularly asked question we get, and it's all about whether you can afford to move away for university. So a really huge part about choosing to go to university can sometimes be whether or not you actually want to move away for university, or whether you're going to pick a university that's relatively local so that you can commute in each day. You may have seen our previous video where we discussed through some of the options and things to consider when it comes to moving away for university or deciding to commute, but in this video in particular we are going to talk you through the decision based on finances and budgeting and things like that. The first thing we're going to talk about is the student finance calculator. Now this is a great place to start when it comes to making that decision about whether you can afford to move away. So the student finance calculator will help you realise exactly how much money you are going to have from student finance to cover things like rent and cost of living. So the student finance calculator takes into account a lot of different aspects. So it'll be whether you're studying full-time or part-time, whether you're choosing to move away for university, or whether you're staying at home with your parents. It also takes into consideration whether you'll be choosing to study inside London or outside London, because obviously there's quite a big difference financially with those two decisions. Whatever you decide to do, the student finance calculator will also always take into account your household income. So that's where you currently live. So chances are most of you will be living at home with parents, and it takes that income into consideration because it starts to think about how much your parents are going to be able to support you throughout university. By logging all of this information with the student finance calculator, you really start to get a clear picture of what funding you will get and how you're going to make that work for university. Once you've put all that information into the student finance calculator, you get two estimates. So the first one you'll get is your tuition fee loan. So this is how much money you will get from student finance to cover the cost of your course. Chances are you will get the full amount, and that will go straight from student finance to your institution. So that isn't money that you've got to have in your bank and budget each month or anything like that. That comes straight in and goes straight back out again. The next estimate you will get is your maintenance loan. Your maintenance loan is to cover everything else. So this covers your cost of living. It covers any social activities you want to do. This will cover things like study resources and things like that. And remember, this is an estimate. So it's really important that you fill in those details on the student finance calculator as accurately as possible to make sure your estimate is as close to the real thing as possible. So now let's talk a little bit about budgeting. We've mentioned that word a lot, but let's get into the detail of it. So once you know what your maintenance loan is, this is when you can really start to think about whether you can afford to move away or not. So here is one way that you can start to put together a comprehensive budget that looks at all of the different expenses for a student. Start with a financial checklist. So this is for things like your rent, maybe your mobile phone contract, maybe sort of contents insurance, bills including internet, TV license, and maybe even things like car insurance if you are going to take your car to university. So then you want to think about your personal checklist. So this can be things like your groceries, how often do you get a haircut, how often do you buy clothes, if you need to use a laundrette, looking at the laundry costs. Then you want to think about a little bit of a transport checklist. So if you are choosing to move to university, hopefully there won't be a huge transport cost day to day. You may be able to walk, or you may be able to get a really cheap bus. Then you want to think about going home to visit parents and stuff. So how much is a train ticket? Are you going to go home once a month? Are you going to go home twice a month? There's also things like petrol in your car if you have got your car with you. So those sort of like monthly costs when it comes to travel and transport. Then finally, you've got your entertainment checklist. So this is things like your nights out, going to the cinema, going out for food, gym membership, music streaming costs, your Netflix bill, your Disney Plus bill, whatever it is that you pay for, all of those sorts of things. These things might seem really small, but they will all start to add up, so it's really important that you do include them when doing your budgeting. You should also start to think about what resources you might need for university. So for me personally, there wasn't anything in particular I needed to buy beforehand. I was doing a drama degree, so all I needed was myself, and I think I bought a few books along the way. But if you're doing a very specific course that needs specific things, like if you're doing an art course, you might want to fill out your kit for that. For some courses, you may need some new resources. You know, what sort of state is your laptop in? Do you need a new laptop for university? So if that is something that you think you will need, factor that into your budget as well. There's lots of things to consider here, so it's best to be as specific and accurate as possible so that you don't confuse things later on down the line. So really try and think about all of your expenses and factor everything in. Once you know all of your costs from your little budgeting plan, you can really start to figure out how your maintenance loan is going to support that. Are you getting any support from your parents? Is that another income you're going to have? Have you been able to get a grant or a bursary or any additional support? So think about all the money you think you're going to get, and then obviously you've got all that money that you're going to spend each month, and you can really start to figure out what's going to be left. Once you've figured that out, if you're not very happy with the amount that's going to be left, it might be time to start considering how you can have a little bit more money coming in each month. So this is where part-time work can be really beneficial to you. It's really important to find a job that fits around you and your studies, especially if you've decided to move away. You're taking on a lot more sort of like life skills and life experience. You know, you're moving away from home for the first time, you're studying a university degree for the first time, and you may well be getting a part-time job in a brand new city for the first time. It's a lot to take on, so really try and make sure that it all does fit around you and that you can still get everything done that you want to. Part-time work can be really flexible, and often employers will try and fit around your studies and the specific needs of a student. Depending on your course, a lot of universities say you shouldn't really be accepting part-time work anything over 15 hours a week. It's important that you're able to keep up with your university work and your part-time work, and you don't want to let the part-time work sort of get in the way of your studies. So I'm just going to insert some clips here that give you a little bit of an example of some real life students and some of the part-time work that they've had whilst at university.
Hi everyone. My name's Maria and I went to the University of Leeds. I moved away from home from Nottingham, and when I was at university I decided to get a job so that I could supplement my income and earn a little bit of money on the side as well. So my job when I was at university was a telephone fundraiser. I was employed by a charity which is actually ran by the University of Leeds called the Footsteps Fund, and what my job involved was phoning up people who used to go to the university, who are called alumni, and asking them to donate money to contribute towards different projects. The reason why this job really worked well for me was because you could either work on the weekends or you could work on the weekday, and you only had to work a minimum of 2 shifts per week to be able to keep the job. But you could also take on any extra shifts either on the weekday or on the weekend if you wanted any extra work as well. Now each shift was only 3.5 hours long, so I'd finish university at the end of the day, go and work in the call centre between 5:30 and 9 o'clock, and then I'd head back home or go and meet my friends. If it was a time of year when I didn't have that much university work on, I could also pick up extra shifts, which would help me to fund my summer and going on holidays with my friends as well. The other good thing about it is that it's only during term time, so when it's the Easter holidays, summer holidays or Christmas, you aren't expected to work. There isn't anybody working in the call centre, so it means that you can really keep those times clear to spend time going back home to your family, completing essays, or maybe going travelling abroad as well.
So my name's Davy. I studied English and creative writing for 3 years at Staffordshire University. I became a student ambassador about 2 months in, and it was a very flexible job, which was amazing. It meant that, say, if 1 week I had a lot of deadlines, a lot of work to do, I didn't have to do any shifts, but say a month later when I didn't have as much to do for university, then I could do more shifts. It was a really good job just because it meant that I did gain a lot of skills, writing skills, communication skills. Time management obviously is a key one because you're balancing both. You get to meet a lot of new people, not just from your course but from across the uni. I gained all these skills and I didn't have to kind of pick between university or work. It was kind of one and the same, and they understand that. They understand that obviously your studies come first.
So as you can see, some of these clips actually showed people having jobs within the university itself, which is a real plus because they will be very understanding of your needs as a student and how flexibly you need to work to be able to get everything done. a lot of part-time work you can get at a university will fit around your studies, and you can kind of choose it to suit you. So for example, with me and my Earn As You Learn programme and part-time work that I did at the university, I actually chose it really closely related to my degree. So I actually got paid to do performances in primary schools to educate students on that kind of transition from primary school to secondary school. I had loads of fun doing it, and I sort of toured all around Worcestershire, performing to kids, getting to do what I loved, and I was getting paid for it as well, which was an absolute bonus. What was really good about this is the lady that was actually my boss for this job was also my lecturer, so she was really keen on me getting the work in and doing the job, so I was able to work quite flexibly between the two. But if part-time work is something that you think you'd really like to get involved in at university, definitely look into it. It's definitely something you can juggle alongside your degree, dependent on the degree. It might even be worth, when you go to the university for an open day, going and having a look around the town and maybe dropping in a few CVs and speaking to people about part-time work, or maybe at the university directly asking people about the Earn As You Learn programme and how you can earn money whilst working for the university. It might even be that you become that person that takes people around on an open day and you get quite a good pay for doing it. So have a little think about that and definitely look into that on your open day. So hopefully making the decision about whether you can afford to move away for university can now seem like a much less daunting task. It's really just about exploring all of your options, getting all of that budget down on paper, and really figuring out what you'll have each month and how you're going to spend it. You now have a great set of tools to make this decision a lot more manageable for you. It's really good to talk and have these discussions with your parents or guardians or your teachers, but ultimately this decision is completely down to you and what you feel comfortable with. If you do want to start looking for a part-time job whilst at university, like I've said, don't wait until you get there. Either ask about it on the open day, or you can use some of the helpful links that we have provided you with and click through to those, and they can help you figure out how you can get a job at university. As always, if you want to find out any more information on this topic, please don't hesitate to contact us on the Aim Higher Access platform. You can speak to me directly if you wish, or you can speak to lots of other people, students and graduates that we have on that platform that you can have a little chat with and talk to them about their experiences. I hope you found this video really, really useful and that you can really start to have a clearer image of whether moving away to university is an option for you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you very soon. Bye!